GSL. Now we're standing here upon the edge.
Moonglade and Tasteless here in the GSL Code A. So far, it's been a pretty one-sided day.
It has been, and it might continue that way.
Yeah, it certainly could.
Maru versus Billowy is up next, and this should be pretty one-sided if everything goes according to plan. Maru's in form, nothing goes wrong. It should, but it's Protoss. Anything can happen when it's Protoss.
Look, Maru should, I would say, 3-0 this, maybe 3-1 this. Probably not 3-2 this, definitely not lose this.
Should not.
It should not happen, but we'll have to see. Maru, a guy that everybody knows if they've been following StarCraft II for the past year or so. The Terran hope, the moments in StarCraft II history when Terran was just not doing that well, Maru was the only player still repping.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say at this point he is the best Terran in the world. I think it's actually safe to say. Like he finally got a chance to play Innovation, I believe, just the other week. I think it was in Pro League, might have been something else, and he destroyed him. That's all there is to it, Tasteless. He's the best.
That's it. He's confirmed best in the world.
Number one.
I think it's a safe argument, actually. He is looking pretty solid. By the way, get out there and get the app. Actually, you don't even have to get out there to get there. Just pick up your phone and download the app. What am I talking about?
What are you talking about, Tasteless?
It's not like get out there and save the environment. I don't know.
It's not even that.
It's easy. Just pick up your phone.
It's a start.
It's a start. Get the app. Punch in the code Medium or Riot, which is what people like to complain about in the chat stream. Maru doing his pregame stretches, making sure those lats are.
Yeah, you gotta have the lats warmed up if you want to be moving a mouse, man.
You're gonna need them, man, especially when you're moving those medevacs back and forth, boosting them.
Oh,
you don't want to pull a muscle.
No, you do not. This guy is a god. He has played so damn well in this matchup. Pretty much every matchup these days. He's like almost got no weaknesses at this point. He's just that good of a Terran player. Definitely leading the way, showing everyone how to do it. Did win the Star League, so he is a recent champion as well. Looking to make his mark here at GSL.
Maru, GSL, it would just not be the same without Maru here. Here is the underdog of today, Billowy.
I said hello to him in the change room. He said nothing back.
Well, one thing about these guys, when they come to, GSL, it's such a coveted tournament. There's so much pressure on this guy. How often will he even get to Code A? We don't know.
That's true.
And talk about a tough hand to be dealt. He is...
it's actually the worst hand to be dealt, I'd have to say. Like, he got the Joker out of this one, Tasteless.
By the way, I've just been informed that Medium or Riot was yesterday's code. Today's code is download EXP app.
Ah, okay.
So that one should be easy for you guys to remember since you're all in the process of downloading the EXP app.
Billowy has a hill to climb tonight. Look at these maps, Tasteless. Varney Research Station, King Sejong Station, Deadwing, Overgrowth, Merry-Go-Round. Not the best maps for Billowy. I have to say Varney gonna be favoring Maru.
I would say so.
Just think about drops and Varney. Think about King Sejong Station and drops. Deadwing, much better for Protoss in general. And then Overgrowth, not a bad one either. Merry-Go-Round.
I would still give that.
That's another Maru map.
Yeah, I would still give that. The third's tricky to hold for Terran, and there's plenty of builds I think that are at Maru's disposal that he can use here. We may have a short delay. There may be some small issue here with Maru's computer. We'll see. I'll keep you guys posted as our updates continue to come in. This is my first ever cast with Moonglade.
It is.
Can I call you Moony? That's what I call him.
You can call me Moon
Moony. Moon.
Call me Moon.
What about Moony McGlazed Donuts?
Yeah.
Yeah, Moony McGlazed Donuts.
I like to think I'm that tasty.
You are. I'm that tasteless is what I am. We have, okay, I've been informed of the fact that it's going to be fine. We're going to start this match immediately. Maru against Billowy, a TvP. Definitely a David versus Goliath match.
Absolutely. Even though Maru is probably the smallest player you'll ever meet, he is the Goliath in this one, Tasteless.
I've been casting Maru for a long time. It's funny to see how much he's grown over the years.
You reckon he's actually grown?
He looks older. He's not taller. He looks like he's grown up a lot more, I should say.
Yeah,
but,
that's fair.
How old is he now?
Jeez, now. I'm not sure, man. He looks like he's 15.
16 or
16.
15 or, you know, there's different age for Korean than they are Korean. You tack on an extra year, but I believe he's 16 or 15. So.
Right. I mean, I look at Sue, and I thought that guy was 30, but apparently he's like 19 or something, so then I just throw everything out the window. I have no idea.
It's time to begin our second best of 5 here. Maru against Billowy. In the bottom center, flagship Terran.
GNL Green Wings Maru.
And back here on the top.
SK Telecom T1 Billowy.
I feel like if I had a pet goat, I'd name him Billowy. am I wrong?
No, that's...
I think we can all agree that would be a good pet goat name.
That's actually a perfect name for a goat.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Oh.
Welcome to the studio, my friend. Thumbs up here.
No,
Not as many people down here today, actually.
Yeah.
Coding is usually just a lighter day.
You know, kind of surprising. I think today's matches are pretty good, especially the last one. But, you know, there's still, you got like the second place finisher at Star League and then the champion of Star League. So you got some big names coming down here today.
You
like,
do.
These
you
guys
really
that are like leading the way in terms of these individual leagues out here. But, you know, it is early days nonetheless. You know, Code S, obviously, where all the people are going to be coming, all the players are going to be showing their good stuff.
For sure, for sure. I was mentioning this last game, but then the proxy rack started in the last best of 5. So, guys, you can always come to our studio. Entries completely free. We're on floor 2 here, just at Samsung Station. Come down here, grab a chair, and you can have a nice evening watching, nice afternoon, I should say, watching some StarCraft II matches. And this is actually in one of the best parts of Seoul.
Yeah.
We're right by, I mean, whether you're a tourist or even if you're just a Seoulite, you want to come down here, we're right by Samsung Mall, right by Lucky 7 Casino, actually, if you're a degenerate and you're watching. And also, we're not far from Gangnam Station, just like the song Gangnam Style, so you can always go down there.
There's even like a little Gangnam-style thing outside. What is it, Exit 11?
Yeah, yeah. They're definitely embracing that.
They're embracing that. So if you want to see that.
Yeah. Go down there, get some Korean barbecue. Seoul, excellent city to come down to.
Probably a little expensive Korean barbecue if it is in Gangnam. You know.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, you got to go all out. You got to treat yourself, you know?
You got to have fun, especially in Gangnam.
Yeah. The barbecue will be expensive, but the soju is incredibly cheap.
Still like $1. So you're just
the hangover you'll get from the soju will be the greatest price you'll pay, you know, to go down and
well
do
said.
that.
Well said.
Are you much of a soju guy, Moonglade?
No, tasteless. No. When I first came out here, I went through that soju phase for like the first couple of months. After that,
what's your poison then? Well, tell me your poison.
I like a bit of whiskey, you know. I like a little straight whiskey.
I'm more of a whiskey guy myself.
Whiskey on the rocks. I just want my tasteless voice. That's all I'm working towards.
Yeah, you gotta. It's gonna be a lot of years of drinking to get to get this voice.
I'm practicing.
No, I'm more of a whiskey guy myself as well.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
It's nice.
It's
You
nice.
know, the thing about soju is it's so cheap out here. A lot of people don't know this, but soju, $1 a bottle.
Yeah.
$1. I mean, and that it literally
It's
maybe give her
absolutely
maybe
insane.
$1.10, 90 cents, depending on exchange rate.
And like 2 of them will get you, you know, completely obliterated.
You'll be obliterated for sure.
So, drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly.
I don't know. I mean,
Or not. I mean,
it is $1 for a reason as well, tasteless.
Yeah, it is.
Let's be real for a second.
It's not the... Actually, you know, it's always so funny because whenever I have friends that come out here and visit me in Korea, they always drink soju like, oh, no, it tastes really good. Like, no, I really like it. Hold on a second. This game is already picking up here. We got the Marines putting some pressure on here. Looks like he... Oh, my God. What? Are you kidding me?
That's not meant to happen. Ever. Tasteless. That's Marines that did that. 4 Marines.
Those are Marines without stim or medevacs, my friend.
Well, you know...
sometimes you see with the really, really good players out there, they'll just initiate immediately. And think of how much experience Maru has, despite the fact that he's incredibly young. How much stage experience does he have? How many tournaments has he played in? Compared to Billowy, I mean, this is a pretty intimidating moment. A lot of good players will just get right in the player's face, start doing damage, and get that momentum.
Yeah, and, you know, just the aura that Maru brings to this, you know, being a recent champion, being the guy that everyone knows is at the top of his game right now, things are going to just happen the way they do. It's like, and he's already going to be feeling that pressure before the game even starts. And now this kind of thing happens. He's probably feeling terrible. And now he's got to deal with the drop, pulling away stuff. And obviously, those Hellions on the left side will be looking for their way in. And he might just find it.
The Hellions are coming up now.
Oh, that Cyber Core.
Yeah, that Cyber Core did lose some shields back there. Coming in here now, he just wants to do as much damage as he can. Not getting as many probes as I thought he would get, but you know, frankly, in a pretty good spot regardless. Nice, actually picking that up. One thing about Bonnie Research Station is there is this cavity at the upper right hand of the map, and you can just park medevacs up there, and Protoss sort of just has to deal with it for the rest of the game.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much airspace, which is why I was kind of suggesting that it might be very favored for Maru, this kind of map. You know, the pocket natural, it's going to be very susceptible to drops. That whole airspace around the main and the natural, and yeah, it's just a great map for Maru to kind of just showcase his aggression and drops, which he's so good at.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you, sir.
I'm allergic to good drops. Excuse me. That was really nicely done. Already shaving off probes here and there. Blink is about to finish, though. That's going to make the drops a little bit more difficult. You can see observers are continuously being produced. I'm under the impression Maru will probably go ahead and expand very soon here.
Yeah.
He's got what we call, we have a pinned Protoss here. Protoss can't really leave the base without being severely punished. So this is a bit of a tough one right now for Billowy.
Yeah, he's essentially just trying to stabilize at this point. This one mine might get up. Oh, you know, that was actually
definitely an
bit of a
overextension
mistake
there.
He should have dropped the Marines out first to take the hits from the Stalker,
yeah, of course,
as well as the photon overcharge. Instead, going for those mines, maybe a little greedy there.
So a little bit of momentum there lost now for Maru. But again, Billowy doesn't have the option to really put any pressure on the map here. In fact, it looks like Billowy's going to be staying back, gradually taking a third base. We see the 2 forges being taken here, which is usually an indicator that a third base is coming. You don't normally see 2 forges and just power in. I guess you could, but
you could, but
yeah. I mean, that wouldn't
be very
sensible. Yeah.
Yeah. He'd definitely need a third base to help him kind of like get to that death ball stage where he can make good use of those upgrades. Maru's still going to keep applying the pressure where he can. I think that he really lost a bit of momentum when he failed that mine drop there.
Well, I don't blame him for trying that, but I think that if he had played it safe, he would have just had Billowy in a bit more of an uncomfortable position. Although I would still say Maru taking a pretty convincing lead here this game. Already getting tons of medevacs out here. The Colossus production has started, so we'll see how soon Maru actually segues into Vikings, if he does choose to do that, because we've seen Maru sometimes not go for Vikings, especially on a map that has enough openings like this. Sometimes Maru just goes for good surrounds, good engages.
Yeah, he loves his just bio-concaves to deal with these things for the longest time. If the count gets like a little too high, sure, he'll segue into Vikings, but he's certainly in no hurry. And it always surprised me at first when I saw Maru do that. He kind of just, he sees like 2 or 3, and I'm like, man, you should really make some Vikings, but he finds a way to just deal with them despite that.
I think it's just the superior control, you know?
Yeah, it definitely is.
So since Maru gained map control early on, he's going to reinforce that by just doing this quick little drop, keep Billowy on his toes. He's now going to stay out here where the third base is, or would be, I should say, and just make sure Billowy doesn't expand there. And this should be a gradual game of Maru just continuing to dominate the map. 1-1 completing just a little bit after Stim completes for Terran.
Yeah, so staying on par with upgrades, essentially. Billowy with his double forge. Keeping up. He's going to have range in a second. It's going to help out a lot against his concave. And he's going for the Colossus.
Oh my god.
Just like that, Tasteless.
He had to make sure that it was perfectly synchronized double Colossus kill.
Because, you know, if
do you unlock something in StarCraft II when you do that?
I don't know, but maybe he's like treating it like a Hydra or something. You know, if only one dies, will eventually come back. So he has to kill 2 at the exact same time, like you would in those console games.
So he's initially I thought you were talking about Hydralisk. I'm like, what? I'm like, I want to go with this. Then I'm like, oh, the actual Hydra.
Yeah.
Well, losing those 2 Colossi, it means that there's definitely not going to be a moment where he's going to need to make.
Look at this. What are you doing?
This is like not even necessary for him to be this fancy.
He's just like trying to like tilt him even further with like a 2 Marine drop or something. So
yeah.
I'm going to play with my food a little bit. I don't think he actually has enough bio to really fight this army this time, though. It's going to be a little bit harder. Nice spotting probe behind the brush.
I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. I think that actually Protoss could have enough here that this should be shut down. Yeah, he's just going to be able to drive this back pretty easily. In fact, going to pick up and leave. Probably the best move.
Still, you know, he maintains a 20 supply lead, essentially. Maybe 10, 15. But still pretty healthy. And now with these drops, he's going to be really pulling the Protoss apart again. Got to be careful of those blinks. But when you got like 5, 6 Marauders, like, you don't really want to blink on top of them.
Jesus. Stalker snipe there. Maru pretty good. The rest of Maru's army just rallied up here in his main base. Maru, you know, you think about his control a lot, his ability to drop, but you really can't ignore the fact that he macros perfectly. That's why even in these engagements that don't always go favorably for him, he's still in really good shape.
A lot of the kind of these drops also like really pull the workers out of position for some time, which is definitely something you see a little bit earlier in the game with these mine drops, but it always just kind of just builds up, it snowballs to the point where the Terran has like maintained this economic and supply lead that you wouldn't expect, but out of nowhere, because just simply pulling workers does enough economic damage to put you there. And ooh, I don't think this drop will be the best one from Maru if he goes for it.
Yeah, well, you know, if he gets a good angling here between these pylons, maybe he can do more damage than he's supposed to. Since the Zealots, these structures here sort of act as a big filter. Yeah, but migrate back into those cannons. You know, Billowy's actually doing a perfectly fine job. He needs to make sure he targets down those medevacs, though. Well, maybe I spoke too soon.
Well, is the buy going to go for it? He's simply going to go for it.
He's going to drop again in the back, it looks like.
Well, I guess it just does enough damage. He got rid of most of the Stalkers back there as well, so this should do some real damage.
Yeah, this should do some work over here. Let's see. He's dropping down here now. Stalkers not in the same spot as the Zealots are. Colossi coming here, I think he's going to have to pick up boost and leave. Ouch.
Oh.
Actually taking some damage from his own Widow Mine there.
I think he got the Observer as well, so that mine will remain.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, how funny is that? Yeah, he did get that Observer.
Wow. Looks like Maru's going to keep the pressure on. 30 supply lead still. Nice and healthy.
Well, this is a game where basically Maru's constantly dealing blows to Billowy. Billowy's been on his back foot for basically this entire game. Not all of Maru's drops are being that effective, and even when he's trading unfavorably, you look at the supply and you see Maru's still in a substantial lead here.
Well, this scan goes down. Yeah, Maru's kind of catching up in upgrades as well, mind you. He's down a set of upgrades for a few more seconds. Looks like he's just going to keep committing to these drops, funnily enough. Oh, and a single Marauder in the main. Just not letting up.
Again, really just taking advantage of the placement of the pylons here, stimming up and slowly mowing down the rest of these Zealots and Stalkers. I do have to say, though, if he keeps having some unfavorable trades, which he's had some of here, this game is going to balance out. It is 3 bases to 3 bases. In fact, Billowy now taking the initiative to expand to the 4th base, although maybe I should should have saved that for a second later because that's been shut down. So it is back to 3 base versus 3 base. And in fact, Viking Production's coming in here, and I think that's because Maru has not been trading favorably.
Yeah, not trading favorably, and there's 5 Colossus on the map, so it's like, well, you know, it's actually getting to the dangerous point here where all my drops and concaves will not really suffice for this kind of AoE damage that we're dealing with.
Another drop coming up over here, and we might have somewhat of a base trade. No, I spoke too soon again. Billowy going to turn around here, and Maru just dealing so much damage right over here. It's just Zealots and Stalkers, not quite enough to effectively trade. With all this nice job taking out the robotics facility, just Stalkers remaining. They'll be killed easily as well. From here, he should be picking up and backing out.
Yeah, he can pick up, get out of there. He traded for a lot of Stalkers as well, so it was completely worth it in every way.
Certainly.
And 3 mines remain.
Oh my god, yeah, you're right. There's 3 mines there.
Picking off that robo did so much work.
It really did. It's funny because now Maru's manufacturing just a ton of Vikings, and the fact that the robo was picked off means the Colossi are going to be slowed down here. Damn, a huge blow there.
Oh, even going to unpower the upgrades for 3-3.
Wow.
One of them.
Easy, Maru. It's 1,000 paper cuts to win in this game.
It really is, you know.
Jeez.
It's taking its time, but he's getting the job done. Might have to deal with this 4th base from the Protoss. I'm sure he doesn't want to let that one go. We're just going to extend the Protoss's lifespan.
You know, after all is said and done, look at the supplies. 183 to 127.
It's like a slow whittle down that Maru does.
And I mean, with all the tiny blows, it's like watching Maru beat someone to death with an empty plastic bottle. I mean, it's just, this is pretty crazy. Like little public shaving up pylons here. He takes out some stalkers there. Yes, occasionally Billowy comes out on one of those fights, but in the grand scheme of things, Maru is seconds away from maxing out with a perfectly composed army. Marines, Marauders, Medevacs, Vikings, and Ghost soon to join in.
3-3.
And Billowy's army is constantly lopsided, really.
Yeah, it's constantly running around the place, defending these 3 bases, losing that 4th base, obviously. And Maru now getting 5 ghosts. He's staying on par with upgrades, and he does, as you were saying, have that composition advantage with those Vikings out. So long as he gets a good position with them, like, it should be a pretty breezy fight, especially with these EMPs coming out.
It's time for Billowy to try to make a mark here on the map. We're going to have a full-on engagement. It'll depend on the micro here from Maru, and I'm pretty confident in his micro as it is. But 5 Colossi, you got to be careful. If you don't spread properly, everything is vaporized.
Yeah. Finally, Templar Archives on the way as well. Maybe a little too late. He might have enough. He might have it out in time for Archons. He does have certainly the bank for that. But besides that, you know, no Storms, obviously, which is going to be a huge relief for Maru, more than anything else.
Coming out now. Billowy not in a, well, maybe not in the best position. Oh. Now warping in a ton of Templars. He's going to be making Archons here, but the Archons might be just a little bit too late. The Vikings are gunning down the Colossi. The Marine Marauder Deathball is backing up, and very quickly, the rest of the Protoss army is disappearing. This should be the beginning of the end as Maru marches forward to crush the rest of Billowy's base. GG, game number 1, not surprisingly, going to Maru.
Yeah, complete steamroll there. And, you know, that was 23 minutes in, still no Templar Templars at all, really. He got them at the last second, but way too late. And he really needed those Storms and feedback to help deal with the Ghosts.
Yeah.
And deal with that giant 200 death ball of bio.
Billowy in a tough spot. He was on the defense the whole time. It really looked like players from 2 different ladder leagues almost.
Yep, that was Masters versus GM, man.
Yeah,
straight up.
That's what that looked like.
And
I mean, I'm sure emotionally right now, Billy probably feeling a lot of doubt right now. You played, you know, StarCraft a ton, especially recently. You're actually, I don't know if a lot of you guys know, Moonglade's GM on the Korean server, but that feeling you have when you can't even get out of your base.
Yeah.
When it's like he's in your face the whole time, and then you check and you're like, he's expanded too? Jesus Christ. I am so behind.
Yeah.
How do I recover here?
Well,
even, and you know what? Billowy's defense wasn't even that bad, by the way.
It wasn't. He stayed afloat a lot of the time. He didn't really take that much economic damage, but I mean, surely he came into this expecting, you know, this is the guy, this is the champion, the best Terran they have at the moment. Surely it's going to be that kind of game. And yeah, I've definitely run into that sort of thing on the ladder, man. Like,
we've all been there. If you play enough StarCraft, you're just like, I can't do anything.
You run to a beast. It's like a top 50 GM player.
It's like you're getting beaten up by a guy twice your size or something.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how fast you are. I mean, this just, you know, there's nothing you can do.
It's ridiculous, and it happens. And Billowy, I mean, he's going to get more of the same on King Sejong Station, to say the least. This is just as good of a drop map, I got to say, Tasteless.
Certainly is. Time for the classic map of StarCraft II in this best of 5. Maru against Billowy. In the bottom right, in the red, he is
Gene Air Green Wings Maru.
You seen those YouTube videos of Maru the cat?
No.
Oh man, they're so cute. In the upper left, in the blue,
SK Telecom T1 Billowy.
I'm a dog guy, Tasteless.
you're a dog guy?
I'm a dog dude.
I have a cat myself.
I know. I looked after it for a week.
You did. You took care of my cat, man.
I took
My cat, you're probably wondering this at home. I'll just get out there and say it. A pretty good StarCraft player.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I taught it a bit of Zag when I was over
Yeah,
there.
you did. Yeah, I mean.
Changed its name to Snuffles on the ladder.
Busted. Looking at the phone.
Oh.
She better be downloading the app. That's all I got to say.
I think she was. That's why. Oh. All right. King Sejong Station. Yeah, this is essentially where, you know, the bio mines began, you know, because it is such a fantastic drop map. that natural, obviously, pointing towards your opponent's base. Like, it just makes things so much easier to drop there.
I think one of the best parts about this map is just how complex it actually is. With expanding, the way the rocks are set up, there's a lot of different lanes you can push towards. You can try expanding towards your opponent in some games. Other games you can try to expand away. And I think in TvP there's often a bit of ambiguity about whether or not it's good to expand towards or away. Unlike, for instance, the TvZ where Zerg basically expands away.
Yeah. And Terran obviously expands towards as much as they can for Zergs. But yeah, as you were saying, it also sets up for a much later kind of game. If players survive the early game, obviously in this matchup, if they survive the drops early on, you can get to that third base and protect it pretty easily on this map because it is close by the main and natural.
Moony.
Ooh, as we say that.
Moony, moon.
Uh-oh. Tasty. Taste.
My moon and stars. We have a hidden pylon. And you know what? I like it.
I like it too.
Why not, Billowy? I mean, we saw how that last game goes.
It's time to throw it all away, Billowy. Ooh,
Twilight Council. Now,
DT.
I'd
have to say because that probe remains, right?
You'd think so, right? Well, now here's the only problem when you do this. Maru can count. And he can count pylons.
He can count more than one, that's for sure.
He can at least go to 2.
That's all you need.
And so he's probably looking around and saying, just like the sound the Paladin makes when he's thinking, when he's like, in Hearthstone.
I wonder.
Let me think.
Oh, it's got to be Blink. What?
Blink.
All right. I guess he's just keeping his probe there in case anything comes along.
Maybe it's Blink into DT or something weird like that. Oh, no. No!
Billowy.
Hello,
friend. Oh, he put down a gateway. What?
No, he's going to put the... What, you put the third gate there if he got spotted?
He's like, well, I guess I just have to go all in.
I'm going to send my Marines over there and kill that pylon immediately.
Oh. Well, he's got Stalker out, so, if he sends his Marines over, it could be a little messy. Oh.
Well,
taste this. This could get very interesting. I'm interested to see how Maru's going to deal with it. If he's simply going to, boost his Marines over there once his Medivac is out. Could be maybe the way to do it.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. We don't normally have a game where the proxy's scouted and it's double racks outside, or double gate, outside of the base.
Bunker at the top. Got to be careful because there's Blink Stalkers. Obviously, they can blink in from behind as well.
Yeah, and they have multiple angles they can come in and blink. It's not like it's either the ramp or one ledge. It's actually tough. I would feel like just basic StarCraft knowledge, like StarCraft history. Okay, who's playing here? StarCraft 101. Did he scout it? And the fact that this is clearly one of the highest leagues in, the GSL Code A to get into the GSL Code S. Maru should hold this no matter what, right?
He should do.
He should.
I like what he's doing. You see that Medivac that came out there with one mine. It's going to force everything off the mineral line for at least a little bit. Going to cause a lot of disruption. Obviously not investing too much.
And there's no observer here, just a mothership core to spot. So watch this. This is going to be America's funniest home videos of StarCraft. It goes in there.
Well, if he gets in range of it. Oh, he does!
He does.
Oh, yep. Billowy, you can't let that happen.
I guess it wouldn't be America's funniest home videos if it's in Korea.
America's saddest home videos. He sees everything die.
Oh my god, he got the mothership core, which means...
he can't blink back in if he gets out.
Yeah, he can't blink down that cliff. Oh, nice blink there, but now he's out of energy. I would have actually kept the SCVs on those Stalkers, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I guess you can't take too much damage, 11, 12 SCVs have gone down from this.
I mean, this is doing something.
Well.
Tank out. That makes it a lot harder.
Okay.
We're going to find...
Oh. Hello.
Hello, my friend.
Oh. 4. Ouch.
Well, I still don't think Billowy wins with this. What if Billowy did win with this, and this just breaks the whole meta, and all pro gamers now make a pylon, Twilight Council, and 2 gateways? Even though it would make more sense to put it in your main anyways if they're going to see it, but what if it's just so good?
It's just so good.
You can't stop it.
It forces Terran to proxy racks on the map and mass Marines to kill it before.
He's going to have to proxy racks because of that inevitable unstoppable build.
Wow, he's going to have to.
Stalkers are in here. Oh, the micro is so sick.
That is a smart way to use the tank.
He's getting kills again here. And granted, that Widow Mine remains.
that was Legacy of the Void, it can be sieged up and picked up, Tasteless.
Ugh.
Thank God for that.
Giving me shivers right now just thinking about that. Now, if he tries to go to the left here, he's going to go through the Widow Mine.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's deemed it that these Stalkers are going to die.
GG.
Billowy taps out GG. 2-0 lead right now. Maru just making sure that rotator cuff's all right. Got to make sure the keyboard hand can go back and forth. Yeah, all the way.
Well, he's a little guy, so he's got to reach over with his shoulder and stuff too. So
that's right.
He's doing like a lot of work here.
Maru making this look easy. Again, it looks like a Masters player against a Grandmasters player. That's the only way I can sum it up.
Completely outclassed.
Completely and totally outclassed.
Granted, it was, nicely done for Maru to be scouting that as well. But, he's going to be thorough against a player that he no doubt thinks as a lesser player. It's like,
Sure.
This guy's going to have to take chances if he wants to take games.
I mean, how does a lesser player beat a better player when they have to win? Probably with a strat like what Billowy did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't even see Billowy winning the second game. The way game 1 went, it was a classic TvP. The way game 2 went, it would, it was, if Billowy was going to win, that would be the strat he would do.
Game 3, going to be on Deadwing. So a bit of a bigger map here. Maybe you're going to give Billowy a little bit more breathing space against those drops if he wants to try and take it to the mid to late game.
By the way, guys, feel free to participate in the event review online as well. I believe you can do that on the app as well. So get that app, and that's a great way for us to interact with you guys. Yes, you at home at your computer in your underwear, I'm talking directly to you.
We see you.
We see you. We have
your
webcam. Yep, that's right. Yep. So, Deadwing is the map. Now, this is a map I think Billowy, well, I shouldn't say Billowy, I think a Protoss can beat a Terran on.
Sure.
The question is, can Billowy beat Maru? We're going to find out as the game has loaded up. Down here in the bottom left in the red.
Gene Air Green Wings, Maru.
Match point for Maru.
That's right. In the upper left, in the blue.
SK Telecom T1, Billowy.
I wonder if Billowy will try for another chance at a strategy. With proxy, perhaps, maybe a Stargate on the map. We do see it a lot on this map. Will he play?
Yeah, I think the thing is, I think if he goes for his proxy Stargate on the map, I think Maru scouts it, right?
Maybe, but I'm sure Maru will be expecting anything like that as well. So Maru might even just go for another Reaper scout. We already actually see.
Whoa! He's
SCV
doing
on the
something.
map.
What's going on? Is he going to do? A dirt nerd play.
Dirt nerd
play, man. This is down and dirty.
Dirty nerd. Ooh.
Down and dirty, man.
Yeah.
Rex right there. Maru's like, I got to catch a movie after this.
I got a date.
My name is Maru. All I know is death and destruction. And the most effective way to do it.
Got a date in countdown.
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
Billowy is about to get a taste of his own medicine. The question is, will Billowy scout this? And I think the answer is actually 100% no.
No, it doesn't look like
I don't think he's going to check for this.
I don't think so at all.
Now he's getting gas here, so probably going to be a quick Reaper. I'd say the way this game's going, I think Maru can pretty much do whatever he wants.
Yeah. He's got, he's got a couple of games to burn as well at the very least. Obviously the 5th game going to be on a pretty good map for him as well. And there's going to be that Reaper. I wonder if he's going to proxy a factory from here as well. That would be like the next step in this. Get the Widow Mines out as fast as possible. Keep applying that pressure.
So the SCV, what you do in this build is you check this location. And he's going to head back now. So he says, okay, my opponent's up here in the upper left.
Second Reaper. What if he's going to expand from this as well? That could be.
It
could be another thing, like a.
He's got. Well, hold up. Let's just go ahead and see what this Reaper does here before we talk about that, because there's not much to defend right now. I don't know if Billy's going to have A-class micro, or Code S-class micro, I guess you could say, to hold this off.
Almost got a second probe. At least he's pulling stuff off of the line, but problem is that Mothership's going to be out in the second, and it's going to completely deflect this Reaper. So what's the next step in Maru's plan? We see that CC go down.
Well, I think he's keeping Billowy on his toes right now. this proved to be very effective in game 1.
You know, I wonder if he was expecting Billowy to go for like a Nexus first, and that's why he went for this kind of build.
Look at this. How cute is this?
Oh, that's so good.
He can actually just hold position that. Then when the mothership core comes up, look at this guy.
Oh, what?
Does Maru clone himself and play in Archon mode? What is going on right now? This guy's control is so good.
Oh, now it becomes a problem though. Gonna go for a couple last kills. Oh, so close.
Nearly.
4 HP. Well, now the problem is that the Stalker's out. Stalker could do some work. Could come down here and start applying pressure. Maybe even kill that SEV if he was bold enough to go all the way. Instead, he's going to be guarding the main base.
Reaper now being driven back. And we have that command center finishing up at the same time that Protoss could actually utilize the Nexus. So it's kind of funny how that build works. You see one guy get the expansion up much later than the other, but they're actually using them at similar times. And Maru's production has been much less stifled, actually, than Billowy. He's not done. He's out for blood.
He's trying to make it work, you know. It definitely did kind of put him behind, not finding too much from it. You know, a few
not incredibly behind, but, you know, behind enough.
Behind to kind of, like, make a difference, but, yeah, not crippling or anything by any means. But yeah, you know, 2-3 probes for proxy 2 Reapers, finding that kind of damage. Now they're essentially neck and neck in supply and economy. And we're going to see Maru, you know, follow up with that classic kind of bio mine drop, which is pretty good for this map as well because obviously they are vertical spawns and you can just fly straight up, direct flight path to that main base.
Maru really the exhibitionist here when it comes to APM. There's not a moment when he has an active unit like a Reaper that he's not completely utilizing that. If you notice, Billowy's not even microing this anymore with the probes. He's just trying to pull them away.
Yeah. Here we go. 2 mines, 3 Marines.
Now, last time we saw him drop the Widow Mines first. Let's see if he mixes it up and drops the Marines first.
I truly hope he does. And I mean, with the firepower in that main base right now, it's not enough damage to stop a mine going down. Not to stop a mine like burrowing. So it's going to force the probes off the line at the very least, and that economic damage is going to happen. And there's just about no stopping it. 4 Stalkers, maybe there. There's a potential there. He's definitely expecting it.
Marines first, adapting quickly. Oh my God, the Widow Mine's going to burrow in.
Oh.
Whoa, nicely done, Billowy. Maru actually in a deficit now.
Yeah.
He's behind. For the first time, really, we've seen Billowy take a lead here.
You know, if he had chosen the natural instead of the main base, he would have completely guaranteed to do some damage. A photon overcharge is not going to be stopping those mines burrowing, but 4 Stalkers that are on point shuts it down. Double Forge again, so same sort of thing we saw from Billowy on Vani.
Let's see if this game turns out to be similar to Vani. You know, last time, if you're just not joining us, guys, last time they played, when it was on Vani, game number 1, Maru basically never let Billowy on the map until he was ready to kill him. And so far in the series, it's really been one where Maru is sort of everywhere. He's so godlike, and Billowy's kind of trying to do the wax-on, wax-off moves as fast as he can, but he didn't listen to Mr. Miyagi well enough, so he's kind of still getting his ass kicked.
Yeah. Yeah, he's still pretty fresh.
And then and the twist in the end of that movie is then it's actually Maru who got the Karate Kid crane kick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Billy was still doing wax-on, wax-off, while Maru was standing on 1 foot with his praying mantis position.
He never got past the wax stage? He's just polishing this dude's
He's just
car.
putting wax on the car constantly, and it's just,
my God. Well, that's what happens, man. You got to be dedicated to your practices.
You gotta, listen to Mr. Miyagi, man.
You gotta listen to that old dude, man. He'll sort you out.
Yeah,
4 Marauders.
And he'll have a really clean house when he does it. So 4 Marauders coming up here now. Now I think he's gonna hide these down here. Did the pylon? Well, I was gonna say the pylon sees it, but the pylon's gonna be the first to go here.
Ooh, yeah, Stalkers, you don't want a piece of this. Trading them out. He's gonna pick up, get out of here. Picks up the damaged ones.
Okay, slow down, Slayer's Boxer.
Wow,
Senior. What is this?
Oh my God.
If I just micro perfectly, it doesn't matter what I do. Okay, we get it, Maru.
If I have Medivac boost, I guess I can just do this.
I guess I can just do this. Are you telling me that all I have to do, me as Maru, a superhuman, is just not make any mistakes in my control, and I'll just do Marauder drops and attack pylons and or stalkers while picking them up perfectly so I don't lose anything and I can get ahead? Well, I'll just do that.
I guess
enough with these meta strats, okay?
Yeah. I guess I'll just like bulldoze my way through this the hard way with micro,
Yeah.
nothing else. He's
Paper cut Terran here.
Look at this, he's baiting. And here we go, he's going to drop on top of Stalker Colossus because Maru doesn't care.
Maru?
What? He's going to get 2 Colossus, maybe 3? Oh, he gets
okay,
3.
Maru, all right.
What?
I think we have to go in there and unplug Billowy's computer. We're like, all right, that's it. When you do stuff like that, I mean, you made it.
Yeah.
Have we ever actually casted a game? Have you? I mean, you've been casting for a while now. I've never casted a game where he's like, no, I'll just drop my army right here and kill the important units.
I've never seen someone be so bold as to drop on
Can't
top
believe
of
that just happened.
3 Colossus and like 8 Stalker with 2 Medivacs full of Marauders and come out on top.
Yeah.
I guess Maru can just do that.
Yeah.
And here we go again, Tasteless.
All right, it's happening again, and this time without Colossi here. He might, okay, I was going to say he needs the Guardian Shield here.
He just kills it.
He's like, wait a minute, is that a Stalker there? Now, problem right now is that the Colossi were killed up, and yes, there was a trade there with the Marine Marauder and the Zealot Stalker, but look, Marine Marauder is very easy to replenish. The burden for the Protoss in actually all matchups is to get the right balance of the unit composition. Yes, Zerg has to do that. Yes, Terran has to do that. But for Terran and Zerg, it's a little bit easier than it is for Protoss. If Protoss, let's say, he loses an Observer and a few Colossi, they're just behind for a long time. Same if they lose Templars, or let's say they lose all their Zealots, all their Stalkers. Protoss is a big balancing act. It's a bunch of scales you're constantly trying to keep, from touching the ground. And Maru is tipping the scales all over the place for Billowy in his unit composition.
Yeah, well, essentially when it's this stage of the game, Billowy's goal is to get the Colossus count to get that 3rd base without taking too much damage, being able to defend it efficiently. If he resets that Colossus count by 3 Colossus in a simple drop, he is in such a bad position just to take, critical damage. He could even push his 3rd base with his bio and maybe just win the game. And as we see, Billowy is sitting at the ramp of his main and natural because he is so afraid of anything that comes his way.
Maru now dissecting Billowy, hitting from multiple angles here. Oh, didn't get that pylon. Oh, nice job, Billowy. All right, Stimming trying to bait out some of these Zealots here. I got to say, Billowy's defense has been the best we've seen from him so far.
Yeah, really holding on to that 3rd. He has to get that 3rd up. He cannot let it go because it's essentially game from there. And Stalker's going to be a tad too late.
Yeah, unfortunately. You can see he's trying to run away. He did get the medevac, but I think with the exchange of, oh my god, hold on, another drop over here. It's hard to even cast this game. Maru's like doing so much damage everywhere.
Oh, yeah, he's doing way too much damage. He's just trading everything. He's getting rid of the Stalker count and again, which is what he needs exactly to deal with these drops. Mine is still there in the natural, so he doesn't forget about that or he's going to lose even more probes.
It is a bit remarkable, isn't it?
It's something else, man.
It's kind of out of this world the way that Maru's been playing this. The Widow Mines, I spoke too soon. I was going to say they will be detonating, but at the last second, an Observer gets over there. We're going to have a 2-pronged attack here. It looks like one over here at the 3rd, a drop, with Maru having the luxury of either going towards the main or the 2nd. I believe the main will be the place he'll want to go to.
Yeah, he's got to find the right spot. He's looking for it. He's fishing just to get them out of position enough so he can take down that 3rd base. I'm doing some scans just to make sure there's no observers spotting what he has planned. Ooh,
pick up.
Where's the boost?
Yeah, maybe he already used the boost there.
Yeah, he found it a little bit earlier.
170 to 150 right now. Billowy, I got to say, has improved in this series. The problem is it enough? Nice snipe there. That's always a worthwhile scan if you're in a TvP. Always just scan on your army outside their base. Like 90% of the time, if the player's good, there's just an observer over there. And that does cause some difficulty for the Protoss. They don't normally have more than 1 robo. Sometimes they do when they get the 3rd base up, but not always. And even if they do have 2 up, it forces them to make an observer, and an observer is not a Colossus.
Yeah. And essentially from here, Billowy is completely in the dark. He has no idea what could be coming his way.
That's a really good point, Moonglade.
Well, he's like, well, where's the attack going to come from? It could come from three sides at once, or it could come from the 3rd.
He sounded like that too when he was saying it. He sounded really scared. He was like, it could come from anywhere.
It could come from the 3rd base, and I could just die. So
what if he upgrades to ghosts? So
he's just dead, man. Trying to get my
dropping
thought out
right
too
here.
quick.
It's okay. He's going to go for the Forge now. No armor for you, Billowy. And now the second Forge here. Now, he did actually give up a lot there, but upgrades in the long run, pretty important when you consider that now the supplies have finally been evened out.
Right, and that was like 3-3, so he needed that so badly, and now Maru's going to probably get his before Billowy can get his own, and that creates another disadvantage for Billowy. Now a fourth base for Maru on the way as well. Ghost on the way, Tastes.
Ghosts! Zoink, Scoob!
Oh! Do you see that? Look at the stack!
Oh,
I wanted to see
yeah,
that.
I wanted to see that carnage. Okay, well, we're getting to the max out point. Billowy, it's finally his turn to move out on the map. There are ghosts out. Colossi count is not as good as it could. Well, no, you know what? Actually, with 5 total, I thought it was 3 when I saw that first shot. 5 total is doable. Let's see how he does now.
Wow,
if Billowy's going to come back, he has to do it right now. By the way, that was a sick EMP.
Yeah, that was a big one. He's going to blink forward on top of Bio like this, Billowy. And once again, we are seeing that composition advantage from Maru in this late game. He gets Ghost before Templar are even on the map. And here we go. Vikings should be enough to wipe out most of these Colossus.
He's pulled the SCVs. Protoss is running. And shortly here, Protoss is going to be disappearing. Look at the stimming, the stutter step micro forward. That's the confidence there of Maru. The reinforcements come a little bit too late. I don't even know if it would have mattered if they were there. And that's going to be a GG, a clean sweep. I got to say, not too shocking. Maru, I guess just happy to be back in the Code S. Billowy, you know what? That was a tough hand to have dealt.
That is the hardest hand to be dealt, I'd have to say. It's either going to be Maru or life that's going to just make you cry at night before the game. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. It's very unlucky for Billowy, but oh well. He had a shot.
Yeah. I can't say the results are not surprising, but I mean, that's how competitive Code S is that Maru's one of the guys that has to prove himself to get back in by being in Code A.
It's kind of insane, actually, that he had to kind of grind his way through Code A to get there as well.
Pretty crazy, right? I do hope this is not the end of Billowy. I'd love to cast his games again in the future, but for now, he is simply unworthy of that Code S position.
Yeah, he'll have to go home. Luckily, he's on SKT, though, I believe, so he will no doubt go back to that practice environment and learn a lot from this.
Win, win, win. That's what Maru does.
Lose, lose, lose. That's what Billowy did.
All I do is lose, lose, lose no matter what. No, it's, I mean, there's not much else to say. Those were 2 players in 2 completely different leagues. We're going to take a short break. When we return, we will be going on to our final best of 5, and I think this is really the best of 5 that highlights today. So don't go away. We'll be right back here at the GSL Code A.